वेलकम टू वीलर्न में आपका स्वागत है। सब्जेक्ट इनकम टैक्स, टॉपिक इनकम फ्रॉम सैलरी, सेशन नंबर 2। टॉपिक कवर्ड इन दिस सेशन: मीनिंग, बेसिक चार्जेस, अलाउंसेस, perquisites and provident funds, leave salaries, and now income from salary meanings। सैलरी क्या होती है, सैलरी के अंदर क्या क्या इंक्लूड होता है, वो इस सेशन के अंदर आप सुनेंगे। सैलरी इंक्लूड्स अंडर सेक्शन 17 सब सेक्शन 1 wages, any annuity on pension, any gratuity, any fees, commission, bonus, perquisite on profits in lieu of or in addition to any salary on basis, any advance of salary, any earned leave, employer's contribution taxable toward recognized provident fund, basic charges. Income is taxable under head salaries only if there exists employer-employee relationship between the payer and the payee. Salary due, advance salary under section 17(1) subsection 5, arrears of salaries. Note: salary is chargeable on due basis or receipt basis, whichever is earlier. Advance salary and arrears of salary are chargeable to tax on receipt basis only. Now allowances. Allowance is generally defined as a fixed quantity of money or other substance given regularly in addition to salary for the purpose of meeting some particular requirement connected with the services rendered by the employee or as compensation for unusual conditions of that service. They are classified in different categories. Some of these are given here. Number 1, dearness allowance. It is always taxable. City compensation allowance, it is called CCA. It is always taxable. Then house rent allowance. Exemption in respect of house rent allowance is regulated by rules 2A. The least of the three given below is exempt from tax. Number 1, an amount equal to 50% of salary where residential house is situated at Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi or Madras or any metropolitan city, and an amount equal to 40% of salary where residential house is situated at any other place. Second, house rent allowance received by the employee in respect of the period during which rental accommodation is occupied by the employees during the previous year. And third condition, the excess of rent paid over 10% of salary, whichever is least. इन तीनों में से जो भी कम होगा वो आपका एग्जेम्प्ट फ्रॉम टैक्स होगा, और एग्जेम्प्ट फ्रॉम टैक्स के बाद अगर कुछ बचता है तो वो जो है टैक्सेबल HRA कहलाएगा। And now entertainment allowance, section 169 subsection 2. Entertainment allowance is first included in salary income under the head salaries, and thereafter a deduction is given on the basis enumerated below. Status of employees: number 1, government employee, and number 2, non-government employee. Under non-government employee, nothing is deductible, whereas government employee rupees 5,000. Number 2, 20% of basic salary. Number 3, amount of entertainment allowance granted during the previous year, whichever is the least. इन तीनों में जो भी कम होगा वो आपका डिडक्टिबल एक्सपेंस कहलाएगा। And our special allowances prescribed as exempt under section 10 subsection 14. In the cases given below, the amount of exemptions under section 10 subsection 14 is the amount of the allowance. Number 2, the amount utilized for the specific purpose. for which allowance is given, whichever is lower. इन दोनों में जो भी छोटा होगा, जो भी कम होगा, वो आपका exempt from tax होगा. And now exemption is available on the aforesaid basis in the cases of following allowances: name of allowances, travelling allowance or transfer allowances, nature of allowances, any allowances granted to meet the cost of travel on tour or on transfer, including some paid in connection with transfer, packing and transportation of personal effects on such transfer. Number 2, conveyance allowance. Conveyance allowance granted to meet the expenditure on conveyance in performance of duties of an office. Expenditure for converting or covering the journey between office and residence is not to be included. Daily allowances. Any allowances whether granted on tour or for a period of journey in connection with transfer to meet the ordinary daily charges incurred by an employee on account of absence from this normal place of duty. When exemptions does not depend upon the expenditure, in the cases given below, the amount of exemption does not depend upon expenditure incurred by the employee. Regardless of the amount of expenditure, the allowances given below are exempt to the extent of the amount of allowances or the amount specified in Rule 2BB, whichever is lower. And now, name of allowances: special compensatory allowance, hills area allowances. Amount exempt from tax varies from rupees 300 per month to rupees 7,000 per month. Border area allowance. The amount of exemption varies from rupees 200 per month to rupees 1,300 per month. Tribal areas or scheduled area allowance, rupees 200 per month, it is fixed. Then allowance for transport employees, the amount of exemption is 70% of such allowances. Number 2, 6,000 per month, whichever is lower is exempt from tax. Now children's education allowance, the amount exempt is limited to rupees 100 per month per child up to maximum of 2 children. Hostel expenditure allowance, it is exempt from tax to the extent of rupees 300 per month per child up to maximum of 2 children. Then compensatory field area allowance, exemption is limited to rupees 2,600 per month in some cases. Then compensatory modified area allowance, exemption is limited to rupees 1,000 per month in some cases. Then counter in-surgery allowance or insurgency allowance, exemption is limited to rupees 3,900 per month in some cases. Then transport allowance, it is exempt up to rupees 800 per month, rupees 1,600 per month in case of an employee who is blind or orthopedically handicapped. Then underground allowance, exemption is limited to rupees 800 per month. Then high altitude allowance, it is exempt from tax up to rupees 1,060 per month for altitude of 9,000 to 15,000 feet or rupees 1,600 per month for altitude above 15,000 feet. Then highly active field area allowance, it is exempt from tax up to rupees 4,200 per month. Then island duty allowance, it is exempt up to rupees 3,250 per month. Allowances to government employees outside India, section 10, subsection 7. Any allowance paid or allowed outside India by the government to an Indian citizen for rendering service outside India is wholly exempt from tax. Tiffin allowance is taxable allowance. Then fixed medical allowance is also taxable allowance. Then servant allowance is taxable. Then allowance to High Court and Supreme Court judges, any allowance paid to High Court judges under section 22C of the High Court Judges Conditions of Service Act 1954 is not chargeable to tax. Allowance received from a United Nations organization allowance paid by a United Nations organization to its employee is not taxable by virtue of Section 2 of the United Nations Privileges and Immunities Act 1974. And now, perquisites. Perquisites may be defined as any casual emolument or benefits attached to an office or position in addition to salary or wages. It also denotes something that benefits a man by going into his own pocket. Perquisites may be provided in cash or in kind. Perquisites are included in salary income only if they are received by an employee from his employer. Perquisites as defined under section 17(2) or 17 subsection 2. The terms perquisites is defined by section 17 subsection 2 as including the following items. The value of rent-free accommodation provided to the assessee by his employer. The value of any concession in the matter of rent respecting any accommodation provided to the assessee by his employer. The value of any benefits or amenity granted or provided free of cost or at concessional rate in any of the following cases. Number 1, by a company to an employee who is a director thereof. Number 2, by a company to an employee being a person who has substantial interest in the company. Number 3, by any employer including a company to an employee to whom provisions of first and second above do not apply and whose income under the head salaries exclusive of the value of all benefits or amenities not provided for by way of monetary benefits exceeds rupees 50,000. Any sum paid by the employer in respect of any obligation which but for such payment would have been payable by the assessee, obligations of employee met by employer. Any sum payable by the employer whether directly or through a fund other than a recognized provident fund or approved superannuation fund or a deposit linked insurance fund to effect an assurance on the life of the assessee or to effect a contract for an annuity. The value of any other fringe benefits or amenities as may be prescribed. Terminal benefits. Gratuity. Section 10 subsection 10. Gratuity is a retirement benefits. It is generally payable at the time of concession, at the time of cessations of employment and on the basis of duration of service. Status of employee like government employee, non-government employee covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, non-government employee not covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. In case of government employee, it is fully exempt from tax under section 10, subsection 10, subsection 1. Under non-government employee covered the Gratuity Payment Act 1972, least of the following is exempt from tax. Number 1, 15 days salary into length of service. Number 2, rupees 3,50,000. Number 3, gratuity actually received. Rupees 3,50,000 is now extended rupees 5 lakhs. And now, in case of non-government employee not covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, is exempt from tax of least of the following. Number 1, 1/2 month average salary multiply length of services. Number 2, 3,50,000. Number 3, gratuity actually received. Whichever is least is exempt from tax. Now, pension. Section 17(1) subsection 2. Pension is chargeable tax as follows. Pension is classified into different category, commuted and uncommuted. Commuted pension is also classified into different category like government employee and non-government employee. In case of government employee, entire commuted pension is exempt whether or not gratuity received. But in case of non-government employee, if gratuity received, then 1/3 of the commuted pension is exempt, and if gratuity not received, then 1/2 of commuted pension is exempt. But in case of uncommuted, taxable for government as well as non-government employees. Now, annuity. Section 17(1) subsection 2, an annuity payable by a present employer is taxable as a salary even if it is paid voluntarily without any contractual obligation of the employer. An annuity received from an ex-employer is taxed as profit in lieu of salary. And now, retrenchment compensation under section 10 subsection 10b. Compensation received by a workman at the time of retrenchment is exempt from tax to the extent of the lower of the following. Number 1. An amount calculated in accordance with the provision of section 25F subsection B of the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, or such amount as notified by the central government, that is rupees 5 lakh, or the amount received. And now, compensation received at the time of voluntary retirement, section 10 subsection 10C. Compensation received at the time of voluntary retirement is exempt from tax subject to the certain condition. Maximum amount of exemption is rupees 5 lakh. And now, Provident Fund. Provident Fund scheme is a welfare scheme for the benefits of the employees. The employee contributes certain sum to this fund every month, and the employer also contributes certain sum to the Provident Fund in employee's account. The employer's contribution to the extent of 12% is not chargeable to tax. And now, leave salary. Encashment of leave by surrendering leave standing to one's credit is known as leave salary. Leave encashment during employment and retirement or leaving the job. Under the case of during employment, it is chargeable to tax, but in case of retirement or leaving the job, we can classify it in two categories like government employee and non-government employees. Government employee is fully exempt from tax, whereas non-government employee, the least of the following is exempt from tax. Number 1, earned leave on basis of average salary. Number 2, 10 into average monthly salary. Number 3, rupees 3 lakhs. And number 4, लीव सैलरी रिसीव्ड. इन चारों में से जो भी सबसे कम वैल्यू होगी वो आपकी एग्जेम्प्ट फ्रॉम टैक्स होगी. And our deduction admissible in computing income under head salaries. Entertainment allowance granted by employers under section 16 subsection 2. This deduction is available in case of government employees only, but in case of private employees it is taxable. Employment tax, professional tax, section 16 subsection 3rd. Any sum paid by assessee on account of a tax on employment within the meaning of article 276 subsection 2 under the said article, employment tax cannot exceed rupees 2500 per annum. And now, relief in respect of advance or arrears of salary under section 89. When an assessee is in receipt of a sum in the nature of salary being paid in arrears or in advance, due to which his total income is assessed at a rate higher than that at which it would otherwise have been assessed, relief is granted on an application made by the assessee to the assessing officer. And now, do it yourself. Question number 1, what is the chargeability of income tax? And question number 2, what do you calculate income tax? And that's it from session number 2. Thank you.